Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cooking with Anita. It's great to be here. It's great to be back. And I'm happy to see you all. I'm just going to check if I'm connected. Let me give Anita. Hi, Vera. Good to see you. I just wanted to say that um, welcome again to Cooking with Anita at Squamish Nation territory. Can you let me know if you can hear me? If you can just give me a thumbs up or just say, yes, I can hear you, type that in, and that'd be awesome. And then we'll get started. I just want to make sure because I got these brand new AirPod Pros from my partner at Christmas, and I absolutely love them. You actually can't hear any noise in the whole place. So if you can just give me a thumbs up that you can hear me, if you can type that in, that'd be awesome. Or say hi, I can hear you. I would love it. Hi, Jade. Hi, Kayleen. Okay, thank you, Vera, for letting us know that you can hear me really well. I love you guys. I'm so glad to be back. And let's get started. So, tonight, thank you for asking, Elizabeth Jean Brown. Tonight we are making the most old school indigenous dish. It's one of our indigenous favorites. It is called Indian casserole. You heard it, Indian casserole. So other people would call it goulash. Some people would call it Indian casserole. But this is like the most old school meal that you could ever have, okay? Tonight is sponsored by the one and only Spam. Just kidding. It's not sponsored by Spam, but this is one of our ingredients. Hi, Krista. And anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to tell you what we need, okay? So tonight is Indian casserole. And the reason it's called that is we're going to I took the liberty of making some macaroni. So we are going to make this dish in two ways. And the two ways that we're going to make this dish is it with, we're going to do the old school version, macaroni and tomatoes with a little bit of ham and a little bit of spam. Kind of got a ring to it, hey? So, yeah, so we're going to do that. And that is actually a dish that I learned, my very first thing I've ever learned to cook. I was 10 years old and I was extremely proud that I could cook macaroni, tomatoes, and spam. Ah! So, but the second version, which is I want to dedicate this show tonight to my late Auntie Lucille. And I just want to say she was one of the most beautiful women. Her name was Lucille Seymour, Lucille Inkster Seymour, and she was my favorite aunt in the whole entire world. And she taught me how to make the bougie version of Indian casserole, which is tomato sauce, tomatoes, and we're gonna have some seasoning salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some, you know what, Auntie Lucille didn't use this, but I do. Old Bay. I love it because you know I love that broad array of spices. Hi, Lillian. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you, Christopher. And Nettie's Chaw, Sandy. I love you. I love you in Teltan and Nettie's Chaw to all of you. So love you all and welcome and Happy New Year. My God. Goodbye, 2022. Another hard year for all of us. We've been living in unprecedented times with the weather, with the amount of people being sick. And oh my God, I just want to say I love you to everybody and send you all special vibes because of all the people we've been losing in our communities. Every single Indigenous community. I visit a lot of Indigenous communities in my regular work because I teach workshops about lateral violence and I travel around and everybody, all of my friends have lost someone dear to their heart. So I just want to say I see you, I hear you, and I see your posts on Facebook, and I want to send you so much love. So much love. Mwah. Because you know what? I feel it too. It was a heavy time. Yes. Okay. Let's get started. Okay. So we're going to put the pan on, turn it on to, it was on high, but I'm turning it down to a little bit to medium. Hey, Philip. Good to see you. Philip with two L's. Just kidding. One L. And I'm Anita with two N's. Yes. Okay. So now that I'm on my healthy track, we're going to try to make this casserole with some avocado oil, okay? So just spray that in there. We'll take the macaroni away for a bit. Bye, macaroni. Okay, so then we're going to get our bacon. So I did some prepping earlier today. So I cut these bacon up in small little pieces. Oh, Happy New Year, Krista. You're the best. Thank you for always watching. Okay, so even though bacon has a lot of fat, I cut it up into like I diced it up into small pieces. See that? There you go. We're gonna put some bacon in there because we're not just gonna have tomatoes, spam, and macaroni casserole, although that's my old school favorite. We're going to have it with bacon, and that's what my late Auntie Lucille showed me. But she also showed me how to put hamburger in it, and tomatoes, and all kinds of goodness. So we're gonna make that, okay? And this is the moose hamburger that we're gonna use after. I am so grateful that this beautiful moose. Thank you to my brother-in-law, Tony Bob, and my sister, Louise McPhee, for bringing us this moose all the way from Southland Territory. Do you know what's so special about having moose? Number one, it's organic. Number two, it's been filling our souls for over 10,000 years as Indigenous people, well, Tahltans and other Northern Indigenous people. We love moose, and it's called kadal. I want to show you something. This says, I love Kadawsin. And if I didn't say it right, I love Kadawsin. Means I love moose meat. Woo-hoo-hoo. And I want to thank my friend, Pauline Carlick, who is a language cultural teacher in Telegraph. And I also want to thank all the language culture teachers at Tahltan Central Government and Tahltan Band and Iski Band who've been working very, very hard preserving our language, teaching our language, and I just want to give them a huge shout out. Patricia, Patricia Louie, Tanya Louie, Pauline Carlick, Kitty Brown. There's so many language teachers, of course, Judy Thompson, who've been preserving our language in our Tahltan, and it's so much. It's just so special and it's a lot of work. So if anybody's doing this in your community, it's just such a pleasure for them to do this work, and it's a lot of dedication and commitment. Nedishto. Okay, I need to get my tools here. The only thing I didn't prep, sorry about that, is I didn't prep my dishes. So this is my bacon that's almost burning up. I apologize for that. It's not though, because you know what? When you cook a dish and you have all that little stuff at the bottom, all that browning, it's all going to go into your dish and it's going to taste lovely. So the bacon is getting nice and brown. So we're going to take that lovely bacon, and once it browns, I'm going to put some of it in another bowl, and then I'm going to put some hamburger in after that. Hi, April. Um, I also wanted to say hi, Gracie, and a special shout out to my sister, Louise McPhee. Bob, I love you so much. Hi, Kaden. Hi, Maya. I love you, my niece and nephew. And I want to say hi to my Uncle Marvin. So I'm Teltan and I'm from Telegraph Creek. I want to tell you, it took me 3 days to drive up there. Me, Grandma Bear, my dog Shuga, and my partner Desmond, my daughter Tewa. We all went up there. And I got to tell you, it took us 3 days to get up there. And one thing I gotta say, Peltans are tough, man. Like they are tough people. Our people are so tough. Like, and Northerners, people who live in the North, not just Peltans, but we live in a very remote community. And I gotta say, our people are tough because going north is not for the weak. It took me 3 days of crazy, extreme cold weather driving from Vancouver to Prince George. My truck froze up while I was driving. Yes, when people give you hints about how to be safe in cold weather, listen to them. I didn't listen to my sister Carmen, and my truck froze up. But thank God for the nice people at Canadian Tire in Terrace. Thank you. You helped me get out of that jam because my car was falling down. Okay, so I'm not going to use that bowl because there was uncooked bacon in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a tiny bit of this bacon. We're going to transport it to the other pot. There you go. Then we're going to use another little bit of this bacon. If you're wondering why I'm so cheap with this bacon, I got to tell you this. It's so expensive out for food right now. So this is an affordable meal that you can afford with your family. Uh, I don't know if it's nutritious with just spam, tomatoes, and macaroni, but hey, it got us through the 80s and 90s, maybe even the 70s. So you know what? It's good for us. So this is moose hamburger, which I'm going to add to the bacon fat because it's going to taste nice and just juicy. It's going to be delicious. So I got to tell you, I did add a tiny bit of spices today. I added, to marinate it, I added a little bit of onion powder. I added a little bit of garlic powder. I don't use a lot of um, garlic salt, garlic salt, onion salt because I find that because I use seasoning salt, and this is the one with no MSG, it works really, really great. So you can either have garlic salt and onion powder, or onion salt and garlic powder, like vice versa. But you can't have all onion salt, garlic salt. That's just too much salt. And we got to preserve our beautiful hearts, right? Okay, so I've added in my hamburger into this browned, sizzling bacon. And while that's cooking, we are going to add a little bit of spice. Actually, you know what? Do not be cheap with spice because we love spice. So just take the onion powder in my bougie container here in the bag. Just sprinkle it around. Don't be shy. We like onion powder. And moose is quite gamey tasting because it's wild, right? So it's okay if you put a little extra spice. Our people sometimes didn't like too much spice. I know growing up that my mom didn't cook with a ton of spice. And I mean like sage and thyme and all of those like beautiful flavors like bay leaves and stuff like that. My mom and dad weren't big on that, so it was something that I acquired later. But she did use onion salt, garlic salt, and seasoning salt all the time. Those are like, if you have no spices, these four would be your key ingredient. There. Seasoning salt, garlic powder, pepper, and onion powder. If that's all you need, of course, like now, I would say add some Old Bay to it because this has such a myriad of flavors. Like it has red pepper and paprika and a little bit of smoky, so it gives you that little bit of to your cooking. Okay, it lifts it up, and that's what we need these days is to be lifted up, right? Okay, so I put in my onion salt, onion powder. The next thing I'm going to add is some garlic powder. And don't be shy. Hi, Uncle Johnny. Nice to see you. So add some garlic powder. Don't be shy. The next thing you're going to add is pepper. You see how big those holes are? I'm not shy to use pepper. I want to tell you something. I'm so entirely thrilled that I can cook for you guys every 2 weeks now, and I can cook whatever I want because I just came back from the doctor after having 6 months of hell. Well, not hell. Okay, I'll calm down. But it was pretty bad. So I came back and I had all these tests done, and the doctor gave me a clean bill of health as of December. And I'm so happy. Woo! So there's nothing wrong with me, and I can continue to cook. But here's the deal, everything in moderation, like everything from grease to alcohol to everything, like spice. Like I just have to do everything in moderation. I guess that's what healthy people do. Just kidding. But you know what? That's a really great start. And I'm excited to start this healthy path. I've been doing it for a while. And they just said to keep it up and nothing will happen to me after that. So I'm excited about that, that I'm nothing is wrong. So happy. Okay. So we got our spices in, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna layer up the vegetables. Hi, Uncle Chris. Good to see you. My Uncle Chris, he's actually my grandpa, but he's so cool. We just say Uncle Chris. I'm so excited that he's watching my show. Hi, because he's my grandpa's brother, my late grandpa, my mom's dad, and I just love him to bits, him and my Auntie Louise. So love you. I lived with them when I was a teenager, and they were really, really super good to me. So I love you so much. Okay, so now that we added our spices, and now that the ground beef has browned, we're going to take these onions. I took the liberty of cutting it up earlier, so I diced them up really tiny. I just wanted to show you. See that? You want it to be that small. Okay? So feel free to add your onion now. We're going to layer up the flavors, and we're not going to leave this lonely dish over here. So while that's sweating and starting to sweat, we're going to put the celery in as well. You're going to dice your celery this small, okay? I would have showed you how to dice it. I would have showed you how to dice those things, but I know you're all good Indigenous cooks out there. So, and non-Indigenous cooks, there's a lot of non-Indigenous people who are such awesome allies. They've learned to cook our food and they've been so supportive of us. I watched a lot of cool stuff on APTN with some of our non-Indigenous people cooking, and it was so awesome. I watched Moose Meat and Marmalade. I love that show. Way to go, Art Napoleon. You're awesome. You inspire me all the time to be a better native cook, man. So I just put in my celery. So I want you to know that that was one medium onion, and I put in four celery. So I put in four of these into my goulash here. And while it's starting to sweat and brown, we're going to put a little bit of Worcestershire. So just shake a little bit around. I do not measure. I usually just, go around the plate like that because it's just easier to do your cooking by taste as opposed to going by tablespoon this, teaspoon that. It's just easier if you go by taste, and you'll know like how spicy you want things, how salty, how much pepper you want, how much garlic you want. Um, that's how I learned to cook, and honestly, it's the best way to cook. The only thing that I do not take chances on, frying steaks and baking. I always do everything like to the T, by the book, the recipe, what it says. Okay? And of course, it's hot in here. You know, you want to hear something funny? So when I was younger, I used to see a lot of women like walk around in tank tops, like all the time. And I used to think, geez, how come they're walking around in tank tops in 40 below weather? Well, now that I've hit a certain age, it's very hot in here. But even my oven is hot. Like everything's hot. But it just makes my kitchen even hotter. So, man, girl, it's hot in here. And I know what our moms meant when they said, man, girl, do I ever sweat? Exactly. I get it. When you sweat for nothing. All the women could relate who are 40 plus. Nothing to be ashamed of. But holy man, it's getting hot in here. I wanna. Oh no, that's a very old song, and I wouldn't do that here. Let's go. Okay, so we're letting our stuff brown. Oh, we got our hamburger, bacon, and then we have our celery. It's all browning nicely. So now I'm going to show you something. So this is the most plain version of the Indian casserole, which I love it. So what you're going to do, I already made some macaroni. So I'm gonna take some macaroni from, I made a lot today actually. I actually made a lot. See that? So I'm gonna take some of this macaroni because I'm making this Indian casserole two ways for you. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up all that nice bacon and macaroni, but we're not gonna take too much because we want to save all this good. So when I cook this macaroni, you know what? It said 7 to 10 minutes on the package, but it was actually 19 minutes to get it to al dente. And you don't want to overcook your macaroni or your casserole will be soggy. And nobody wants anything soggy, right? So we want nice, firm macaroni. So that's what I did. Okay, back to my Indian casserole. So Um, I was gonna say, if anybody ever wants to do something for me, I need knives and I need nice spoons and I need a big fork to stab that moose heart. Kidding, but I do need those things. So if you ever want to get me something, I would totally love that. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit of these diced tomatoes. Oops. We're going to take some of these diced tomatoes and we're going to pour it into the macaroni and bacon. We're keeping an eye on our other bougie casserole. And then we're going to stir it up. So just take some of that, stir it up. Look at that. Doesn't that look like from back in the 70s when we all didn't have much money, but we thought this was an amazing dish? And I was extremely proud that I could make this dish at 10 years old. So yeah. Hi Sherry. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. I was a little bit late today, but we're making Indian casserole. So this one is the non-bougie version. Actually, it's still a little bit bougie. It has bacon in it. So we're going to turn this down now because it has browned it and we want the celery and the onions to get nice and soft. We don't want it to be hard in our casserole because we're going to put it in the oven. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, I want to show you something. Look at this. Hey, oh, awesome. So my cousin Willie is my Auntie Lucille's son, my late Auntie Lucille, who I told you I dedicate this show to. He says he's making her stew for the first time. Oh, Nettie's Shaw, my Auntie Lucille was such an amazing cook. And her and I used to have so much fun laughing and um, talking and telling stories. And I just love her so much. So I'm making this dish and her, oh my God. Okay. This is bad. This is very bad. Look what happened. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Hi, Rodney. So remember these used to have a key? Well, now it has a thing that you're supposed to pull up. Well, I didn't pull it up. Darn it. Okay, I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm going to have to call my assistant in. Hello, Desmond. No. He's going to open it. Thank you. Great, great. Okay. So that Indian casserole has to go to the side for now. Okay. So the next thing we're going to add is I told you that this is a bougie version of this Indian casserole. So we're going to put a little bit of cremini mushrooms. Yes, I could have bought the regular mushrooms, but you know what? I went to Walmart and Walmart has these cremini mushrooms. They're the same price as the regular white mushrooms and these are so tasty. They're just so good. Ooh, thanks, honey. Okay. He doesn't want to be shown on camera. Sorry. Oprah has her Stedman and Anita has her Desmond. Just kidding. So, but thank you. We opened the spam, so we'll open that after, okay? Okay, so I've turned down my food. It's still cooking nice. And you know what? Even though it's loose meat, there's enough fat in there to keep this going. Like I don't have to add any additional. I didn't add any beef. I just used moose um hamburger and it's working out really nice. So it's okay. Um did you know that a long time ago, one of the stories that my auntie told me, my auntie Lucille, I was asking her, I was saying, when you were kids, like did you guys have, I asked her, I said, do you guys have beef and pork and like, did you guys have stuff like that? Like pork chops? She said, oh no. She said, we ate all the food that we had in season. So like they had rabbits, they're in rabbit season, moose season, salmon season in the summer where we, just fish and eat salmon all summer. I did that too. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you. And, you know, when I was a kid, we honestly did eat salmon all summer long. And it's so funny, the way colonial views like tell people you're poor if you eat fish or you're poor if you just eat moose meat. Oh my God. We were so rich. Like to eat that all summer long. When you look at the world now, we can't do that. So, you know, eating salmon is such a treasure. Eating moose is a treasure. And honestly, we're having a difficult time with conservation of these beautiful animals that feed our souls. I myself have been on a quest for a very long time to protect moose, to protect salmon, to protect our rivers, because I really, really love eating our traditional food and I really, really love our territory. And we come from, such a beautiful place in Canada, one of the most beautiful places on earth. I'm a fan, like, I'm a big fan of economic development. I love the fact that, our people can make a living doing something in our territory. But at the same time, I'm also a fan of eating my traditional foods, going back home and being able to enjoy all of those things. And I get worried that with all the development that's, being proposed and that's happening, I worry. I worry about those animals. I worry about our salmon. I worry about our way of life. So, these are the kinds of things that we have to consider. Like, I just really believe in balance. And I think that, it's important that some of us, like all of us, consider that because these extreme weather events have been really scaring me. I live in the South and going from the South to the North, like for Christmas, it was it was really a scary time. I'm getting emotional. So I have to like wipe my eyes. I'm sorry. And wipe my face. I'm sorry. I just really, really love our territory and I really love what all the goodness that it brings to all of us. And, every summer it just makes me so happy to go home or when I do go home and get to spend time with our people, which I'm going to do much more than I have been. Because going home at Christmas was so good. Even though I was only there for 4 days, it really filled my soul. And I look forward to coming back. Okay, so we cut up a tiny bit of the cremini mushrooms. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. And I want to, just before we do all of this, I want to get a clean cupboard because I told you we're making Indian casserole 2 ways. I'm going to wash my favorite knife, German steel. And at this time, I want to give some shout outs. I want to say happy birthday to Dale Craig, my cousin Troy's wife. She's a beautiful woman, great mom, raised great kids who are so successful. Way to go, Dale. Happy birthday. She's Teltan and she's my cousin. And I also want to give a huge shout out and say happy 19th anniversary to Ray and Tanya Lewis. Nettie's Chaw, love you guys, and you're such a great couple. And I am going to add some garlic now, but just before I do the garlic, we got to do the other casserole. And then we're going to be doing it. We're going to be almost completed this. Don't worry, this is on low. Our vegetables are still cooking. Did you like that trick? Ooh, just pulled it out of the, just slid it right out of there. There it is. This is our spam. So now, if you want to do something in 10 minutes or less, cook your macaroni, cut up your spam, add some tomatoes, fry up some bacon. Voila! You got an Indian casserole. So that's the old school version with tomatoes, macaroni, and spam. Teltan special. I thought it was a Teltan special, but I have traveled all over British Columbia, all over Canada, going to Indigenous communities. It's not just a Taotan favorite. Lots of Indigenous people love eating spam. Because you know what? It was actually one of the food rations. And that's what I was telling you about what my Auntie Lucille told me. She said long time ago, the steamboat, it used to come up from Alaska to telegraph up the Stickeen River all the way up because they used to have a mining gold rush there. And there used to be tens of thousands of explorers like living in our territory, and they came up all the way from San Francisco, California, all the way up to get their treasure. I don't know if they did or not, but one of the things that my auntie said that they brought up is they brought up bologna. Yes, that was our people's like traditional. It's not traditional, but it was a treat to have. She said it would come in a big roll like this, and they would just love eating that, like take a slice off, and it was like their treat. So now you know why Indigenous people love bologna, because our ancestors used to call it a treat because we always ate moose and fish, and a lot of us still do that today. And that's why we're working so hard to protect them. So, hi Corey, nice to see you. Hi Quentin. Oh, you okay? So I'm gonna take this spam. Woohoo! This is Indian casserole done two ways. This is the first version with a little bit of bacon and a little bit of tomatoes, and now we're gonna add a can of spam. I don't know if I'm gonna add the whole can. We'll see. So I might have to add the whole can because what are we gonna do with the rest, right? Okay. Ooh, that looks good. That looks delicious, guys. So you know what? Even though we didn't have these big spices back then, we still need to add a little bit of spice. This is cooking nicely. It's almost ready. I'm just going to check the celery. It's a little bit hard still, so I'm going to let that sweat down, just meaning that I'm going to let it get softer. And yes, so look at this. So we're going to add a little bit of seasoning salt, not too much because the spam is very salty, okay? It's mystery meat, sorry to say, but I don't care. I love it. I'm going to add a tiny bit of garlic powder just for a little flavor. Hi, Samaria. Just kidding. I'm trying to say your name all fancy. Good to see you, sister. And so we're going to add that little bit of garlic powder. And of course, tiny bit of Old Bay. This is not the original version. Normally we just use salt, pepper, tomatoes, and spam, no bacon, but this is my Auntie Lucille's recipe and I love it. And we're gonna add a little bit of salt. Whoa, that's a little bit of onion powder, but you know what? It's okay. I'll just spread it out throughout I'll just mix it really good. Mix it real good. Shake it real good. Oh, I'm just starting to think about salt and pepper. Do you know salt and pepper? Okay, so I'm gonna have to taste this. Let me have a taste. Okay, so I don't want that big piece of bacon. Sorry. Okay, so this is how it looks. And so I'm making Indian casserole, and Indian casserole, the non-bougie version, is this one. Spam, tomatoes, can of diced tomatoes, one can of spam, and a little bit of bacon. I don't care what anybody says. about spam. I still love it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of cheese, toss it in the oven. So I bought this cool little gadget online. It's this grater, and you just put it over the bowl. However, whoever they are was selling it online. You put it over the bowl, and you go like this to grate it. And it's very handy because see, there's the bowl. But you know what happened? They didn't even send me the bowl, those bums. I get it in the mail. All I get is this. I'm like, hey, I paid like $50. Where's the rest of it? So bad on them. And I wish I knew the company because I would say, shame on you for not sending me my bowl. So you just grate it on the big grate side, okay? And this cheese that I'm using, it's actually just no name cheese, but it's old cheddar. So you want a sharp tasting cheese because you actually want to taste the cheese, right? So we're going to take a little bit, sprinkle it on top. So this is the non-bougie version. It's kind of bougie by adding cheese because a long time ago we didn't have a lot of cheese, which is fine because most indigenous people are lactose intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant, but I can eat cheese. Hi, Angela. Good to see you. Okay, so we'll put the timer on there for about 10 minutes. I've seen that my partner put it up to 425, so I think that he wants it to melt right away. So 10 minutes. Okay, now we will go back. I didn't even see that fall on the floor. Okay, so we are going to do the bougie version now, which is almost done. So, pardon me, you're gonna take this mixture, which has onion, mushroom, celery, bacon, moose burger, onion salt, garlic powder, seasoning salt, and of course, Old Bay and salt and pepper. And that's all you're gonna need, my lovelies. And then we're gonna add a can of diced tomato and we're gonna mix it up and then we're going to put it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. And voila, we're going to have a beautiful Indian casserole. Okay? So there's your diced tomatoes. No, we're not making spaghetti sauce. So I'm not even going to let this cook. Like, I'm just going to warm it up pretty much because I don't want it to turn into a sauce. Like, I just want this to be like a goulash, right? Okay. So, hey, Mindy, good to see you, cuz. I gotta tell you, I had so much fun last week. I went up to Fort St. John and my cousin Mindy Henu came and picked me up and we had such a great time. She's such a great chick and she's like a soul sister that I never had. So it was so good to see her, spend time with her whole family. And it was her birthday. So happy belated birthday, Mindy. And I was so happy to go up to Fort St. John and I'm really feeling grateful this year, like for an early start, I'm feeling grateful. I got to show you something. I'll wash my hands, but I got to show you. Look at this. I went up to Doig River and they gave me these beautiful moccasins. And I just want to say thank you to Doig River First Nation. Thank you to all your kind elders and beautiful people. Thank you, Shona Nelson. And thank you, Lacey, and all the good people, and Majul who were out there being so good to me and were such good hosts. But I really, really love these. At the end, they said, come and choose the moccasins that you want. Oh my God, I felt like Indian Cinderella. So here we go. I got these beautiful beaded, and they're hand tan moose moccasins. So one thing about our people is that when we kill a moose, we waste nothing. We eat every single thing on the moose. We use the hide, we eat all the meat, like every part, and we eat the innards, we eat the head. Yes, we have moose head. And every single thing our people eat because our people were nomadic people. We traveled around with our food. So we followed our food in our territory. That's why Tautans, we got these big long legs, right? We had to walk in all that deep snow. Just kidding. But no, seriously, about that though, we were nomadic people. We did follow our food and we followed the seasons of the food. So, right now people are moose hunting and it's the best when people go moose hunting in the winter. And I'm just so excited. So I can't wait to go back up. And I'm really excited that Doig River invited me to their culture camp. Yay! So I get to go hunting and enjoy all that good stuff in the spring. So that's really exciting. Okay, back to our sauce. Okay, so this is cooked pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring out our macaroni now. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. I'm going to take that and then I'm gonna stir in our macaroni. Okay, so we need a bigger spoon for that, or even this flipper will do. Can you see I need utensils? Yes, I do. Um, so I also wanted to say that, you know, making this casserole, see, you stir it up in this big pot, but then we're going to transfer it to um, a casserole dish and we're going to put some cheese on top. I was going to say, if you want, you can add a little bit of tomato sauce, just a tiny bit, okay? We don't want to add too much because we don't want to take away from this delicious flavor. So we're just going to add a little bit of tomato sauce to give it some nice texture and flavor, but not too much. I don't want the sauce to overpower the mousse. So that's the goal. I mean, if we wanted to have sauce, we could just make mousse spaghetti, right? But this is goulash. So I'm showing you this Indian casserole, and how it's going to be a casserole is we're going to put it in a casserole dish with some cheese on it. And if you really wanted to, if you had extra breadcrumbs or cracker crumbs or panko, if you want to be bougie, you can just add that on top with your cheese and it turns out really nicely. So I'm going to stir this up and then I'm going to have to give it a little taste to see if it has enough spices because, even though I put a lot of spices in there, once you add the macaroni, you might need a little bit more spices, okay? Um, I did add a little bit of Worcestershire, so we just want to add a tiny bit more because I'm going to bake it in the oven, so it's going to taste good. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just using this flipper or spatula, as it's now called, but we used to know it as being called a flipper. Um, Funny how names change of everything. Just like us as Indigenous people, they keep changing our name, but we're still the same. I'm still Annita. I'm still Taltan. Uh, I'm still Indian. Just kidding. I'm Indian, Aboriginal, Indigenous, and I'm also, but really, my real identity is I'm Taltan. Taltan and I'm Tlingit, and that's who I am. We follow our mom's side, so I say I'm Taltan. And we also follow our mom's side when it comes to our clans. So I'm a wolf. My mom was a wolf. My grandma was a wolf. And we can trace our grandmas right back to the first female. That's pretty cool how the matrilineal society works. And I really love that. So in my language, we say I'm a wolf and I'm a Chiona. Hey, Vincenzo, good to see you, my friend. And Elaine Bomberry, good to see you. Okay, so we got this. I'm going to taste it now. I'm going to get a clean spoon. You don't want to taste this with a dirty spoon because we have to feed people. So we're going to just take a little taste here. Okay. Mmm. It needs a little bit of seasoning salt and it definitely needs garlic powder and it definitely needs pepper and we could use a little more onion powder. Why not? We're baking it. It needs a little more. It needs a little more. It has to have a little bite to it. If you want to add a little bite to it, hi Donnie, my beautiful friend. Oh my God, I love Donnie so much. I met Donnie on WestJet and I was flying, and flying isn't my favorite thing. Okay. I said we needed a little bite, so I'm putting a lot of Old Bay in here, okay? Okay. Um, and so I met Donnie. He's actually a flight attendant at WestJet. Hi, I'm giving you a shout out. And he was so amazing because I don't really like I fly a lot, but I don't love it. Like I kind of hate it. But I'm getting better at it. I don't know what happened when I was a young adult. Something happened where I got really scared of flying. I got anxiety and it made me so scared. And he was so good to me and he comforted me and he was such good company and he acknowledged our people and I just wanted to give him a shout out. And he asked me how I felt if he wanted to, it was 1 year to remember the kids from Kamloops who never made it home, the 215 kids who died at residential school. And, he wanted to acknowledge that and he asked me how I felt about it. And, I was just so touched by his compassion and his love for our people. And we had such a good day that day. And now we are friends. And I just think, our allies out there, we see you, we love you. And you know what? Thank you for supporting us as Indigenous people. So this is our goulash and it looks pretty beautiful. There we go. This is definitely going into the casserole dish and we're going to put some cheese on it. Okay, so I'll get that. I'm going to put this away in case somebody wants a little extra spam in their life. Okay, so, okay, that's my other casserole. There's the timer. I'm going to have to check it now. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh my God, it looks delicious. Woo, look at that. There we go. This is the Indian casserole number one, the one made with spam and bacon and tomatoes and a little bit of spices. This is my favorite. It's my favorite. Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to take all of this beautiful casserole now that has tomato sauce and macaroni and moose burger. That's all the way from Teltan territory, prepared by my brother-in-law, Tony Bob. I am so grateful. Do you know how far this meat traveled to get here? 3 full days of traveling to get my moose meat in my house in Vancouver. How beautiful is that? So, you know what? It's just like one of the most special gifts that you can receive as an Indigenous person to be able to have your traditional foods in your home, and especially when you live in the city. So I really appreciate it. And I just want to say a big shout out. Bless the hands that caught this, well, not caught, that hunted this moose. And I also wanted to say another shout out. I wanted to say happy birthday to my baby daddy. Just kidding. I want to say happy birthday to my daughter's dad, Mike Sparrow, because I just wanted to say thank you for giving us a huge box of cold smoked salmon. And thank you for always providing traditional food for our daughter. So, and me and my partner. So thank you very much. And you know what? That's one thing that I really appreciate is having salmon every year that's provided by my kid's dad. So big shout out and thank you to Musqueam for always taking us in. So Madhu. And of course, I'm very grateful to my Taltan people for giving us this mousse. So here it is. We're going to sprinkle some cheese on top. And then we're going to pop that in the oven for this one's going to go in for about 20 minutes. So you probably won't get to see it. But I will take a picture. I will post the ingredients and we'll have all of that. I think we need a little bit more cheese. Do you think we need more cheese? Hi, Lily. I think. Oh, hey, Annita. What about me? I've been sitting here all night wondering what you up to. Oh, Grandma Bear, I'm sorry. What? You wanted to say hi? You miss everybody? Yeah, what you think, girl? Hi, how are you? Happy New Year! What a year 22 has been. Thank God it's over. Woo! Woo! So, yeah, so I went to Taltan territory, and man, oh man, oh, oh, ah, it was awesome! It doesn't matter. You know, long time ago, we used to travel around with dog teams. So, you know, Anita can cry and talk about how rough her trip was. But hey, you know, her dad, I remember, he used to travel with dog team. Yeah, Billy McPhee. Bill McPhee, yeah. Travel with dog team. All those people back then. Travel with dog team and hunt moose, and it's the only way we could get around before there was a truck, you know? So think about it. You kids, you got it easy, easy. And right now, there's nothing to complain about. Things get rough, times get rough, but believe in Creator. You'll always be okay. I'm okay. Look, I got this beautiful outfit from Saskatchewan. Yeah, look, I love it. This is my new snagging dress. I don't care. I'm old enough to make my own decisions and do what I want. So, whatever, whatever. Just kidding. I had a good time and I love my dress. Show it to you again. It was National Ribbon Skirt Day last week, and I just wanted to say Happy National Ribbon Skirt Day. And I'm proud of the people who put it on because it was about honoring a girl who was supposed to go to a ball and they never let her because she had a ribbon skirt on. That's so sad. Prejudice! So we honor her today. And sorry, I can't remember her name, but that's why it started. Okay? Woo! Okay, Nettie Shaw. I'm going now. Love you. Hold on, Grandma Bear. Grandma Bear, you want to come back? Oh, where did she go? Where did Grandma Bear go? Woo! Okay, we got to finish up our casserole. Thank you to my partner for giving me more cheese. So here we go. This is the end of our night. Moose Indian casserole with bacon and tomatoes, and it's going to taste so, so lovely. And I just wanted to say a big hello to Lily Mae. And Grandma Bear said she wanted to say hello to you too, but she's old and she forgot. Sorry, Lily Mae. So, hi, Lily Mae. Thank you for always watching Grandma Bear. She loves you very much. So we're going to put this baby in the oven and it's going to take about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and then it's going to be done. Sorry, I'm just having to grab another. I just had to grab something else for our food. Okay, look at these. I bought these for just for tonight. Look at my new oven mitts. Rah. Woo, rah. We say grizzly bear in Tahltan, ho, ho. Or else you say sus for black bear. So aren't these cute? But these actually protect your hands. They're not just there for looks. Rah, rah. Okay. I'm going to stick this in the oven for 15 minutes and then we're going to have a delicious casserole. And I'm looking forward to my company coming over and sharing this delicious food with my friends tonight. And you know what? It's always such a great pleasure to come and talk to you and to see you all. Hi, Rhonda, sending you so much love from BC. It's so great to see all of you again. It's great to be here and it's great to be back. Cooking our Indigenous favorite food. Grandma Bear's happy to be back. And I wanted to tell you again that my kitchen is being renovated by At Home Crew. It's a at home and garden show, a new show coming out on APTN, hosted by the lovely Tamara Bell. And they're gonna decorate my kitchen. It's gonna have Indigenous flair. I'm gonna have new cupboards with Indigenous designs. We're gonna also have I'm not going to tell you who the designer is because a lot of that stuff is a surprise, but I'm so excited. I'm getting a new stove. I'm getting a whole new kitchen, and you'll be able to see my whole kitchen, not just my stove. New counters, new floor, everything. So this is really, really exciting stuff. And I just wanted to give a shout out if you're wondering where these beautiful earrings came from. This is from the lovely Copper Canoe woman. So thank you very much. And I wanted to thank you all again for coming here tonight, spending time with me, and enjoying cooking with Anita. I always love coming to see you. And of course, I love it when I get to wear my little black dress because that's when all the good stuff happens. Woo-hoo-hoo. When I put on this apron, everyone knows that they're going to be happy. So I love sharing love with you and sharing good recipes with you. And thank you again to everyone for watching tonight. And I will post a picture of what our food's going to look like, our casserole. And this one, again, I'll show you. It's not hot. Ooh, it's still pretty warm. So I wanted to show you again. There's our casserole, our spam casserole, our Indian casserole, and the other one that's made with moose hamburger will come out and I will definitely let you see it. So have a wonderful night, Nettie's Chaw, and thank you, Amanda, and thank you all for your well wishes. Madhu, have a good night. Oh, I can't stop there. Sorry. I forgot to mention that there is a new class action suit that is out. It's a class action suit. So all the Indigenous children, it's called the Indian Boarding Home School suit. I wanted to share this with you. I filed as well, but it's for Native Indigenous kids who had to go out to school when they were teenagers because the government didn't care enough about us to build a school in our territory or in our hometown so that we could go to school back home. We all had to attend high school, which was really hard because I was only 14 years old and I had to leave my family, leave my community, leave my friends. Some of our friends came, but I got to tell you, it was very, very hard to deal with all that racism, the culture shock, and everything when you leave your community. And the disconnection is felt for life. I am so glad to hear that we will be compensated, and I hope that I qualify because I lived in different homes, about 7 or 8, from the ages of 14 to 17. I was a very lost kid. I had a hard time adjusting, and the lawyers are called Klein lawyers. I'm not promoting them. If you look it up, you'll find it online. It just type in Indian boarding schools class action suit. I know there's a lot of people from my communities and the neighboring communities, Telegraph Creek, Iskut, Dease Lake. We all went out to school because there was no high school. So I really, really hope that you sign up for the case and that we all qualify. And if we don't, we better. Now make sure we do. No. So I just wanted to inform you about that. Looks like times are changing and they're acknowledging that the loss that we had as Indigenous kids. And, yeah, so I just wanted to inform you about that before we left. So have a wonderful night and I thank you for watching and we'll talk soon. Bye.